Day 454 of the Ukrainian War Map, also known as the Russo-Ukrainian War. Juzzy here, and today is a bit of a different update as I take a simplified and down-to-earth approach to some of the most important happenings on the ground in Ukraine today. And today we'll head right on over to the map, as there has indeed been some developments. And in fact, it's all happening within Russia's Belgorod Oblast. So I'll zoom right in there, as Russia has literally lost land in its own motherland territory as a result of military engagements, which is pretty unprecedented, I would think, at least since World War II. So, oh my, how the tables have turned. So there's been a number of Russian freedom fighting groups inside of Russia that commenced actions to start liberating Belgorod from the tyranny of Putin. Now, these groups include the self-described partisan forces and anti-Kremlin militia groups such as Free Russia Legion, that group there, and also the Russian Volunteer Corps, also known as the RDK, and some other groups, including even members of the Polish Volunteer Corps, who are reportedly taking part in these recent activities. And what have they done? Well, they've obliterated Russian checkpoints near the border and stormed Russia's Belgorod region bordering Ukraine on Monday. As a result, the Russian military and border guards could do nothing but retreat in an unexpected mad dash to get out of there. Now, these various, mostly Russian groups stormed the towns including Kazinka, Glatovo, Gordopodol, and even for a while there, Graveron. But apparently some fighting is happening there now. And the Kazinka checkpoint got pretty demolished there as well, as you can see. But these freedom fighting groups, they are acting confident as they move along the main road in armored vehicles. And as such, the Russian army has been abandoning its equipment in true classic Russian army style. And it's not at all clear where the Russian army was when this all commenced. And so here we have some footage and updates from the Free Russia Legion group saying that Grandpa Putin is completely defunct and the key to the border is broken. And then also here we have some footage of a BTR-82A, which has been seized from the Russian army by the freedom fighting groups there as well. And around the same time, there was also a use of drone-dropped munitions to take out the Russian FSB building and the headquarters of the Ministry of Interior in Belgorod, which is both useful from a strategic perspective, but also symbolically powerful as well. Now, what's all of Russia's response to this? Well, apart from Russia basically calling for a state of emergency in the region, the Belgorod Oblast, and residents also fleeing Belgorod, including the city of Belgorod, down the road a bit further, it's also said that Russia urgently evacuated a storage of nuclear weapons close by in the region, which I do wonder if they even have the necessary and proper protocols, procedures, and training in place to pull off such a delicate and time-consuming task, as preparation, maintenance, training, and all of the rest has not exactly been shown to be Russia's strongest suit, as we have come to learn during this war. Oh, and I've got to ask, what on earth happened to Russia's world-famous dragon's teeth? And also the defenses that Russia spent so much time and resources setting up in this oblast over the winter and the spring. Well, I love to poke a lot of fun at these cope cones, which could conceivably be pushed just out of the way by a couple of humans, as these cope cones were never designed or installed correctly, as in order to be effective, they should be larger, heavier, and penetrating into the actual ground instead. Then also, interestingly, as part of these developments, some of the Russian freedom fighters who invaded this Russian location to liberate it from Putin have taken a police station and took police uniforms and some squad cars too. As such, Russian officials are now asking locals to, without warning, open fire on individuals that look like police. Just wow. I can see something that could backfire from that. I mean, just imagine your own local government saying, oh, by the way, your local law enforcement group can no longer be trusted. They're fake, so shoot on sight. Just utter madness and chaos. And you know, the irony of all this is that more land was captured in this very offensive in 6 hours than Russia has been able to take in Bakumut in the past 6 months. Truly astonishing and embarrassingly bad for Russia. Because Russia has been so single-mindedly hell-bent on stationing large ongoing swaths of Russian soldier cannon fodder at Bakumut in the Donbass for about a year now in order to get its little 10 square mile Pyrrhic victory piece of land in a war-torn and essentially demolished city now. And Russia wanted places like Bakumut so badly and so much that Russia literally left their lines of defense open within their own country's borders. Of course, apart from a small token Russian force at the border that had to pretty hastily withdraw anyway due to a lack of manpower and lack of resources. So Putin's priorities are just backwards, and it's not just that, and I've said it before, but Putin genuinely doesn't have a really clear or accurate picture of the military landscape for his own forces, due to the systematically flawed nature of the Russian military, which I won't get into now. And so Putin has to go through the school of hard knocks, like in this instance and in many previous instances throughout this botched and unjustified invasion of Ukraine that he started last year. And so every time he has to learn the hard way that his forces have some severe limitations or inadequacies. So what does he do? He just scapegoats a political or military figure and keeps on going on his merry little way, the Putin way. Which is kind of like a behavioral attitude that is so far from taking any accountability, so he's destined to keep making the same mistakes over and over. Oh, and I'd even also like to note, in several places, including in the center of Moscow, the flag of the Freedom of Russia Legion was launched into the sky. It's a white, blue, white flag, similar to the Russian flag, except the color red is suitably absent. And also, I've got to say, we all now know the line, Russia is the second best army in Ukraine. Quite true, really, literally. But is it now also the second best army in Russia? Gee, we'll soon see. So the situation is very fluid right now, and the operation against Putin's security forces in the Belgorod region of Russia continues, which means Russia has gone from, we'll take Kyiv in 3 days, to Belgorod holds in month 16, or Belgorod territory lost. You get the picture. And so due to the fluidity of the situation, I'm going to wrap up this video for now, as updates can become pretty irrelevant pretty quickly. So thanks again for watching, guys. Please comment your thoughts on this one. Continue the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it, and I can't thank you enough. And I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one. Cheers.